Gamers, welcome back to week 3 of my SPML Ubers Draft League recap and review. So, we're up against a long-term friend of mine at the college, Mr. Owzer. Very big Bowser fan, very big troll. If you ever see an internet opinion from a guy named Owzer, do not give it 100% of your thinking capacity. You will go insane. Just don't do it. But yeah. This is a very rough matchup for me. We both got volatile matchups into each other, but I think it's a little worse for me overall just because he has some of the best hazard removal in the game in Cinderace. Not just that, Vaporeon works very well into my team. Who else? Iron Jugulus. Tinkaton is honestly not the biggest threat, but its typing is very difficult for me to deal with. Uxie, I'm surprised he didn't end up bringing. The rest of the Pokemon on his team, I was honestly mostly afraid of Mega Charizard X. Because Mega Charizard X has a really fucking good matchup into my tanks. Like, if he just brings, like, Thunder Punch's coverage, I legitimately don't have anything that can really take care of it. Like, Giratina gets destroyed. Mega Venusaur, it does live a hit. I made sure to do that, like a +1 Flare Blitz. I made sure it lived that. And get, like, a Toxic off or maybe a Strength Sap. Things like that. And Stack does pretty well into it, especially Terra Water, which I think I have it set to this match. But yeah, let's just start off. So I lead with Stack. I'm basically just, I did the same thing as last week. I just really want Rocks and maybe Salt Cure Chip. Also, because I'm kind of just scouting out what he has on his team. Stack is the best Pokemon to do that with. Honestly, I think my main goal in using Stack this week was just scout out what he actually did. Just to see, like what, because Uxie, Cinderace, and mainly just these two, they can have a variable of movesets and items. Like Cinderace is usually boots, like U-turn, Court Change, maybe Sucker Punch, and then Pyro Ball. That's usually what it is, but it can be banded, it can be banded, it can be scarfed, it can be, whatever you need from it. And Uxie, I don't know. This thing could be Calm Mind setup, this thing could be Roxy, U-turn pivot. It can be a lot of things. So I lead at Scout. It goes for Rocks, which is fine. I go for Assault Cure, just Scout out, and Covert Cloak. Because of what I did last week, Owzer did come prepared with a Covert Cloak to stop Salt Cure, because as you know, Salt Cure, the damage over time is an additional effect, which Covert Cloak completely stops. So he gets Rocks up and knocks up my Eviolite. Honestly, a pretty bad outcome for me. I set up Rocks as well. I switch out to Tapu Fini, and he actually, I don't want to say reads it, but covers it with the Energy Ball. It doesn't deal too much in general, but honestly, it's still like chip that I don't want. I Calm Mind up, +1/+1, which is really good for me. Goes for Energy Ball again. I believe I Draining Kiss, yep. And then I realize this thing is basically max HP, max special defense. Or at the very least max HP, some invest in special defense and speed. I'm thinking it's a lot into speed because it outsped me to begin with and I have a decent amount of speed, so I actually think it's max HP, max speed, a little bit into special defense, honestly. Which, that's fine. And then the Psychic Noise comes out, and that's when I know that this is a demonic Uxie set, honestly, for like everything that goes into my team. I was pretty, fucked up to see this. And then Scald, unfortunately, barely doesn't kill. And then doesn't get the burn, leaves him at 5%. He switches out into Vaporeon. I go for the Scald again. I should have gone for Draining Kiss here, honestly, if he were to switch. But, it doesn't really matter that much. I taunt because I know he's either going for Haze or Wish. But he ends up just going for the Scald. I don't care, that's fine with me. But now he can't end up going for the Haze or Wish. And he ends up making the mistake of not switching out into anything and just letting me get Draining Kiss chip off. He does get the burn, unfortunately. I just end up just recovering more and more off this. The burn chip is really annoying. The taunt ends. I think I end up taunting here. Oh no, I just go for another Draining Kiss. Honestly, if I had the balls, I might have done Scald here. But Draining Kiss is just like, I want a lot of HP back on this thing. Now, I'm very afraid of Cinderace. This could be Gunk Shot. It could be, I think actually Gunk Shot is the only thing that hits Tapu Fini neutrally or super effectively that it usually runs, because U-Turn doesn't, Powerball doesn't, High Jump Kick doesn't, Sucker Punch doesn't. Yeah, so honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. Despite that, it U-turns out, which, you know, that's fine. And then I'm going for the Scald here. I was honestly very scared the Tinkaton switch to absorb the Scald. I was playing kind of predictably here. But honestly, if Vaporeon were to come out again, it would have just been the same thing over again. I just Drain Kiss, Drain Kiss, Drain Kiss. And then now Tinkaton is in. It goes for the Fake Out. And then I know it's coming here. It's Gigaton Hammer. And I kind of just let Tapu Fini go. Tapu Fini already did a lot. It got Tinkaton to below half. It got Vaporeon to below half. It got some decent chip on, what's your name? Cinderace. It also got Uxie to really low. I think Tapu Fini did more than enough there. I bring out Necklace Stack again, and then he brings out Vaporeon again. I go for the Terra Water into the Salt Cure. Now Vaporeon's getting Salt Cured. I'm expecting a Wish here. Yep. And I just Salt Cure again because of that damage. I actually needed that damage because Salt Cure does do double damage. But with the leftovers heal, it would have gone over the threshold to... it would have basically lived the Salt Cure damage at the end of the turn. So I needed to do the little bit of chip damage. But nonetheless, he still has a Wish out, which thankfully the Uxie isn't wearing boots. It's got Covert Cloak, as I figured that out. So it's basically guaranteed dead unless he got rid of the box on the other side of the field somehow. And then that negates the Wish. So Cinderace comes back out with a Sucker Punch. And I just end up going for a Salt Cure. Yep. Actually doesn't negate the Wish, I forgot. The High Jump Kick does end up killing. Not even Stab, by the way, which really surprised me. I probably should have tried to recover there. But, yeah. I bring out the Giratina because, you know, I realized that it's only Dark Stab with Sucker Punch. So I really have no reason to not start Calm Mining setup. And now, this was kind of a pipe dream of mine, but he ends up going out into the Iron Jugulis. Now, I do a very stupid thing here. I Will-O-Wisp because, so my big fear was him going into Tinkaton for like Play Rough or something like that. So I Will-O-Wisp that, and I also was really fine with Lunala getting Will-O-Wisp because of the fact that it would basically get rid of Shadow Shield, since I know for a fact that this was Boots at the end of the game. But Will-O-Wisp still not the smartest play by me. I made a lot of mistakes this game because I was kind of getting frustrated by RNG a little bit. Even though nothing really bad RNG happened so far, I also was not in the greatest headspace for this game. I was just like I was stressed out from a couple of things, but you know what? That's just how life is. Nonetheless, Dark Pulse comes out. This is what happens. Crit, flinch. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Thankfully, I guaranteed live the next one, 30, and then I just Thunderbolt him. Thankfully dead, but unfortunately my Giratina is now dead to rights. Powerball, I just let it go. I did Will-O-Wisp there just in case he tried to Sucker Punch again, and it would have actually burned him because the Fire type thing, assuming hit. Now, I forgot that Libero doesn't change your initial type, but that'll just come into play later on. I'm beginning to jump out. I go for the safe crunch. Tinkaton does get Fake Out Chip, but it doesn't matter. And I just go for crunch again after this. It is kind of just Chen Pao, you know, brute force from here on out. The Sucker Punch, I kind of forget about. I should have clicked Sacred Sword here, which does end up, you know, letting him live. But after that, I was kind of just... After the crit flinch, I was kind of just in the wrong headspace for this, I'll be honest. And then the Crunch, which it does live because of Shadow Shield, but it doesn't really matter what he does from here on out because Landorus gets to come in. This was Scarfed, and it was mainly all special attacking moves. It was U-turn, well, not like that. It was Earth Power, U-turn, what was the last one? Was it Sludge Wave? I think it was Sludge Wave, and then it was also Knock, purely for this. So Knock ends up taking out thanks to Shadow Shield going down. But yeah, it's just like this one had a little bit of a bout of bad RNG that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And I did kind of play this a little poorly. There's a lot of mistakes I made that I wish I could have gone back, and hopefully you didn't hear that. Hopefully you didn't hear that ping. There's a couple of mistakes I wish I could have gone back to try and play better, but nonetheless, a win is a win. Yeah, that is week 3, I believe. Week 4, which was the game I played last Sunday, I believe, is actually a really good game. I'm actually quite proud of that game, so I can't wait for you guys to see that one. But yeah, this is my SPML Ubers Draft League Week 3 recap and review. Thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all next time.